In this video, I'm going to share the story of what drew me to the Cartier Tank. And hey, this is coming from someone who typically wears much larger 40 to 43mm watches. I'll share clips of all the models I tried on, what I almost went for but changed my mind overnight, and I absolutely love what I ended up buying. 4 weeks on the wrist, I'm a Cartier Tank convert. So firstly, what drew me to the Cartier Tank? As I say, I'm normally drawn to much larger watches. I'm relatively tall, just over 6'2", have an above average wrist at between 6.5 and 7 inches. I love watch dials, and my default, within reason, has been bigger the better. But I want balance, and the paradox is I also like watches I can enjoy and fly under the radar. They're understated, less in your face, more stealth wealth. I don't want to attract unwanted attention. I've always been a fan of Cartier. I've owned a Cartier drive. I've been close to pulling the trigger on the Santos chronograph I've featured videos on, but what I arrived at is ultimately the Tank is the purest expression of Cartier. Created by Louis Cartier in 1918, inspired by the French Renault tank in World War I, the modern tank watch stays incredibly faithful to that original iconic design, with clean lines, Roman numerals, rectangular face, framed by the blancards, and those signature blue hands and cabochon cut stone winding crown. The original prototype also came on a leather band, and I think this is Cartier's sweet spot, and arguably no one does it better. You know what, if I want an amazing bracelet, I'll look to Rolex or to AP. Tastes and fashions change, but they also come full circle. In the late 80s and 90s, we've seen a rise in the all-action movie star and that chunkier watch. But the Tank has remained iconic through the ages, as well as unisex, which is again more prevalent in taste today. It's been famously worn over time by influential figures ranging from Fred Astaire and Andy Warhol to JFK, Princess Diana, and interestingly, Muhammad Ali, dispelling any notion that a small watch is not masculine, or if you're tall or larger, you need a big watch. Now, bringing up to present day, it's recently seen worn by musicians and actors such as Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, and Jacob Elordi. The point is not this therefore makes it cool and follow that trend, but more just recognizing how this classic, iconic design has remained so timeless for so long. It was an adjustment for me after spending some hours in a Cartier boutique trying on many watches. But wanting balance in my collection, what drew me to the Tank specifically is its versatility. And again, it's that pure expression of Cartier design. It pairs worn both casually or dressed up. It doesn't dominate your wrist, but instead provides an artistic focal point of understated, classic luxury design that can complement your overall aesthetic. I looked at the slightly larger Tank models at just under 34mm lug to lug and 6mm thickness, and was particularly interested in gold for a kind of classic modern vintage look. I looked at this rose gold manual wind Tank, the deep black dial, and also color variants in red and green that continue the spirit of the Tank must range. In fact, I came very close to buying that black one. I am a sucker for that sexy contrast of gold and black, but learning from previous mistakes, in the end I decided let's just sleep on that decision overnight. And when I came back, ultimately what I arrived at is, yes, it's cool, it's a great evening watch, but again I wanted something more versatile and more aligned to Cartier's original classic design. And I love this in yellow gold, again with those Roman numerals. Now I'm good with both rose and yellow gold. My personal perspective, yellow gold has more of a classic vintage vibe. I also love the strap pairing with the bluey grey strap that accentuates the hands and the crown. It's kind of vintage, but with a modern vibe. Now, full disclosure, I only have mechanical watches, but, and at risk of dissent in the comments, this particular combination in yellow gold only comes in quartz, but it is £1,500, over $2,000 cheaper. And here's my honest view and what was my thought process. I appreciate and I love sweeping second-hand movements on mechanical watches and seeing the beating heart of the movement on an open case back. But when there isn't a secondhand and there's a closed case back, I had to really challenge myself why this would be a thing for me. I own a manual wind and I have no issue with that, but the convenience, accuracy and reduced lifetime service costs made me just put that kind of dogma and prejudice aside, even though all Cartiers come with an 8-year warranty. However, since I bought this, have to say, completely changed my perspective. I get why the Tank is such a watch icon. They're immediately available, new at retail, with no wait, but you can also pick up great bargains on used Cartiers secondhand. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the clips I've shared wearing this in multiple settings. Please click like, subscribe, and love to hear your comments and view on the Cartier Tank.